All shoulder and trunk movements after phase 1 are either against gravity or gravity dependent. Trunk flexion muscles, concentrically contracting, internal and external obliques, rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis. Trunk extension muscles, eccentrically contracting, erector spinae, transverse spinalis, interspinales. While in trunk flexion, the shoulder is then fully hyperextended. Shoulder extension, hyperextension muscles, concentrically contracting, posterior deltoid, latissimus dorsi, and teres major. Eccentric contracting, anterior deltoid, pec major. Shoulder abduction, 30 degrees, and external rotated muscles concentrically contracting, anterior, middle, and posterior deltoids, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and teres minor. Eccentrically contracting, pec major, subscapularis, teres major. Scapular motions involve shoulder extension, downward rotation, retraction, hyperextension, scapular tilt, abduction, upward rotation, external rotation, retraction. Main muscles for scapular movement: trapezius, levator scap, rhomboids, serratus anterior, and pec minor. The supraspinatus muscle fires maximally during arm elevation from the 6 to 3 o'clock position phase, centralizing the humeral head within the glenoid. The posterior deltoid and teres minor muscles act maximally from 3 to 12 o'clock position phase to continue arm elevation and externally rotate the humerus. The pectoralis major muscle accelerates the arm from 12 o'clock position to bas release phase. The serratus anterior muscle acts to position the scapula for optimal glenohumeral congruency, and the subscapularis muscle functions as an internal rotator and to protect the anterior capsule as well. Subscapularis muscle activity seems important in dynamic anterior glenohumeral stabilization and as an internal rotator. The deltoid and rotator cuff force couples allows for movement of the humerus while stabilizing the humerus at the same time to prevent migration of the humeral head from the glenoid fossa during most phases of throw-in. The serratus anterior and pectoralis minor during scapular protraction during ball release. The serratus anterior upper and lower trapezius, rhomboids, pectoralis minor, and levator scapula during scapular upward rotation. Anterior and middle deltoid, supraspinatus, the synergist, as well as latissimus dorsi, pectoralis major, teres major, coracobrachialis, long head of triceps, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis antagonist during shoulder abduction. The following muscles are concentrically contracting during the power phase. For trunk extension, rector spinae, transversospinalis, interspinales. Rotation same side, internal oblique. Rotation opposite side, external oblique, and transversospinalis. Lateral bend, quadratus lumborum, intertransversari, internal oblique, and external oblique. The following muscles are eccentrically contracting: rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, internal, external obliques. The anterior deltoid concentrically accelerates shoulder flexion and internal rotation, and teres minor eccentrically decelerates shoulder internal rotation. The finish. Although the focus here is mostly the upper extremity, the lower body motions involved are: in the hip and knee, flexion extension; the hip, abduction; the ankle, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, inversion, and eversion. Strengthening exercises. For scapular stabilization, the serratus punch with dumbbell, push-ups, bilateral scapular retraction with TheraBand. For back and shoulder strengthening, the Superman, this bodyweight exercise strengthens the entire back and shoulders. The muscles targeted include the trapezius, erector spinae, and deltoids. The prone IT and Y holds, as isometric contraction, helps strengthen the latissimus dorsi and trapezius muscles. Core strengthening exercises are planks, side planks, sit-ups without feet secured, and bird dog. Rotator cuff strengthening exercises. Isolating each rotator cuff muscle will strengthen and stabilize the shoulder. TheraBand, extension, retraction, protraction, scaption, external and internal rotation.